Hey guys, Tom here. Um, well, I'll tell you, there certainly has been an awful lot of lawn mowing around here the last week or so. I mean, just a lot of lawn work. Lots and lots and lots of. We had people out here on Easter Sunday doing lawn work. I've got a guy who's apparently lawn is becoming his main hobby now. He's out there mowing again. Um, I was watching CJ yesterday, and I was listening to a story of his, and it brought just one of the nicest smiles to my face, because it's this nice little story about getting to that point where I'm able to hold on a second. It was about getting to that point where, hey, there's this place you've got to, or rather you're being invited to, and you're going to be moving to a new location, actual geographic location. That's a nice place that has not only let's see, what was he saying? Not only it was a place with architecture of some sort, different architecture, and of course that could be spiritual architecture, that could be a physical type of structural architecture to the place and organization or whatever. But a place with some architecture would be nice, I think, rather than boxes. But it sounded nice. It sounded like he described it as a place where I'd feel like it was my forever home. Because once I got there, I'd settle in really quickly and easily, and I'd feel really at peace, and I'd like the area. And I could imagine it in my mind. It's a type of, at least the generalities of what would be a nice environment for me. It wouldn't be dead center in the middle of metropolis. More than likely. I mean, it could be, I guess, but, more than likely not. And I'm just really happy about that, and happy that I can feel that that's a truth that's happening now, rather than just a nice thought. And he was talking about how you've felt trapped, and well, to some degree, I probably have, or stalled out. And I know I certainly did feel stalled out because of all the help I was receiving, from my enemies. It's something when your team is your actual enemy, and they're telling everybody that, oh, they're trying to get you to do this and help you to do that and be that, but it's the opposite. So I'm glad that we're finished with that. It seems like we're finally, being released from that nightmare. Again, I renounce and rebuke and repudiate all kingdoms, spouses, and marriages. That's a satanic thing. And it apparently is something where they're trying to marry the day to the night, or some other abominable act, which is pure evil. And you cannot do that to any day person without their permission. It's just, it's just not a thing. And for those who say something like, well, it's not supposed to be a physical relationship. Well, actually, any kind of love thing where they're saying there's love involved, it's supposed to culminate in those people coming together. Or I do believe it's considered null and void. Hold on. But in any case, I see it as perfectly illegal, and I know that all the heavens above see it as illegal, and all the white people see it as illegal, because white doesn't marry black. That's just that. The light doesn't marry the darkness. The day doesn't marry the night. They don't have. It's I guess a possibility that they could have business dealings of some sort, but I don't understand why. Whenever the light doesn't need the darkness for anything. We don't need magic, that's for sure. Seems like it causes more problems than it can cure. Again, it's just not our cup of tea. And it's nothing personal, even though I can see, on the other side, is there's just like all just, well, I mean, it's anything but Christian. If you're going to pretend to be a Christian, you're going to pretend that you're walking with God, Christ, Jesus, the Prince of Peace, okay, then you really do need to show the fruits of the Spirit. You got to be a little bit more happy. And you have to have a lot more peace. And you can't be stuck in this mode of rivalries and competition. Because, you see, getting in good with God is not a competition. And if you think that you're going to compete with somebody to be bigger with God or more powerful with God, you're never going to be anything with God. You're just misled. He'll probably bring you to an awful lot of realizations that'll teach you that you have to let go of certain attitudes. But the other day, whenever I prayed about the clarity, it was for the people involved, so they would have a clearer sight of themselves within this mess and what they've done, and so it'd be a lot easier for them to see that, in fact, you are trying to force people into things, which is an evil act in itself. God does not force men to serve women. Men are not providers for women. Men are providers for their own homes. Now, if that woman happens to be an obedient part of his home, he's going to provide for her. In the old marriage vows, she was required to say that she loved, honored, cherished, and would obey her husband. But in these kingdom spouse marriages, apparently honoring them is not anything at all to do with anything. And plus, that's all made up long about what, 2015 or something, 20. I mean, it was just a replacement phrase for soul contract, or this marriage thing, or love, or whatever, because, they even stopped pretending that. But one of the things I'm looking forward to is that in this new place, I'll not be dealing with that. They won't be on my YouTube feed. I'll have no input from them at all, as far as, and not even the option to look them up. They're not going to be available to me, I guess. I'd have to actually go searching for it. But I'll probably have other things to do. And whenever CJ was talking about, you're feeling stalled or trapped or something, I thought, well, not really. At one point in time, I felt certainly stalled out, but I've also felt that with each passing day, things seem to have improved some more. A little bit more. Just enough to go, I think things are improving. And, after a period of time goes by, you can see that actually things have improved. So my attitude has improved, and I know it does seem like we've been stuck and that we've been, not making any progress. But by golly, by gosh, we certainly have been making a lot of progress. Progress in our attitude and progress in, each day we wake up with like, aha, a new realization, it seems like. Something that would be rather obvious, you'd think, maybe. But you know how that is with people. One day they wake up and they go, well, if I just quit having that second cheeseburger at dinner, I might lose a little weight. And I am at my end of my indulgences, I guess I might call them. Before, of course, it was, necessary. And the eating and everything, I think, has helped. It's helped to bring me back to a better strength. But I am going to have to, I'm just tired of it. And I'd like to wake up a little bit more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed rather than sort of hungover from last night's snack or something, So, yeah. Guys, again, thank you, all of you that have been helping and carrying us through this. We're going to become a lot lighter. It's one of my prayers. And again, I tuned in for the Black Witch program. I know I shouldn't. But I waited till it was over, and I went back so I could just fast forward through bits and listen to, 15 seconds here, 30 seconds there, whatever. And I pray that I pray peace at the expense of the enemy's peace is upon them. And if they do have greater clarity about, what it is and how it is, so that, they don't feel compelled to remain with that manipulative stance. It doesn't really matter, I guess, anyway, because it's just, done. But I tell you, I could see them, as I clipped on through. I'd go another minute ahead, or 3 minutes ahead, or 5 minutes ahead, and I could see cycling right there in front of the audience. They were cycling between the different manipulative stances that you could take, which there is none. There's no emotional manipulation. Remember what I was taught was you can't love them, you can't trust them. No, not anybody, not anyone. You can't love anyone or trust anyone. That's what I was taught. Because if you do, well, you're going to learn, aren't you? So, again, I have no hatred of them, and I think, it'd be best if they could just move on, like I was trying to say 17 years ago, 16 years ago. This had to be finished, and that's why I said goodbye, because it was obvious it was all wrong, and nothing was right about it, and it was just bad and bad and bad, and I couldn't expect it to ever be what it was supposed to be, which I didn't even know what it was supposed to be. I didn't even know what we were doing. I still, to this day, I'm still wondering how in hell could they have acquired the ability to do what they had done. And it was just simply because I didn't know that I was being run right down into the ground. That's what, or figuratively speaking, anyway. But yeah, I think that's going to be good. In the next environment, I'm assured that all these little annoyances and things that come and go that have, become a part of day-to-day existence, that's going to go away. And so I'm not going to be thinking about all those things anymore, and I'll actually be able to be free. I was musing the other day about how different a spiritual walk it would have been if I wasn't under constant attack the entire time. I saw Jordan Peterson talking the other day, and he has this wonderful way of seeing things, the complicated things that all of our lives are in, or rather the environment, what it's for, how it's made, what it produces. And he was talking about how, all of this stuff that has been produced, the quiet building that they're all sitting in, the environment that allows them to pay attention without, distraction and or thoughts of like, a bomb going off down the road or something. All these things, that's the product of civilization. And I realized again at that point, while he was pointing it towards, what it allows, on a day-to-day basis, such as in school, I was reminded, of course, that was the whole point of civilization and a Christian civilization, so that those good people could continue their walk with God and advance spiritually more easily. Because, again, anytime you're doing any kind of spiritual practice, unless it's some kind of dark stuff, peace does seem to be at the center, at the focus, as the goal in most instances, that a certain level of peace is being reached just to gain enlightenment. So what the story is going to look like after we leave, I don't know. I suspect that at some point it's going to change drastically. And I'm going to live in a better world where there's no hate or no anger. And of course, I don't know if I'm going to have to sing a few songs to bring that into being. Probably will. But if so, you know what? Just like everything else, I'll make it look easy. I know they hate that. They go on and on about that. And the thing that really gets them is you make it look so easy. Well, have you ever heard of a natural? If you're doing what's natural to you, if a duck jumps into the lake, he's going to make it look easy to swim from one side to the other, isn't he? You're going to make it look like, it's just nature, just by nature. It's just what it is. It'll get better. And God bless again all of you that have been loving and supporting us sincerely. To the wicked witch, I say, go your own way. And if you've got God and you're walking with God, you certainly don't need me. If you have Jesus, and if you think it's a competition of who's going to do better with God, well, I just hope you do as good as you possibly can. Maybe you'll do something for God that's so good and so great, and you'll suffer in such ways that he'll make you a pillar in heaven, and you'll never have to come back out again. Well, that would be something I would cheer for. I'd be like, yay, they made it. They made it from death and darkness all the way back to heaven, into the kingdom of light and life. Although they told me not to go into life. I don't think it's open for them, to tell you the truth. But again, thanks again for all of you who do love us and support us, and who are for the day, who are for light and life, and decency and nice things and goodness and all that. And I know it requires you to have standards and stuff like that, and to be, more discerning and more discriminatory as well. And it's not as much fun as being just accepting of everyone, and saying things like, I love them all. Well, I mean, in a sense, figuratively speaking, he does love them all, sort of, because he doesn't exterminate them. I heard a woman yesterday. They were walking. The ladies were walking, and some girls who were being conscientious about their weight reminded me I should do the same. I heard them talking, and they were, I guess it was staged, but one of them was saying something about how they really didn't like change that much. They liked, stability, I guess. And the other one says, but change is good. Well, I can agree with both of them. I don't really like change all that much, and I don't change. I'm not changing for the evil dead people. We're not changing. We're not going to become the dead. We're not going to join the dead. That's never going to happen. It's always and forever. We're going to remain with the living and go with the living and go to life. Because again, the light is with me, and I can't resist light. I can't resist the God of light and life. That's just that. I'm theirs. But I will say that, even though I don't like change, I like things to sort of stay the same, have a routine, and have things being stable. The simple fact of the matter is, like whenever she said that, I thought to myself, well, I don't either. But boy, have I seen an awful lot of it. I used to have a family. I used to have a couple friends, I could count on. I used to know I had some associates that were real friendly. I had a life, it seemed like. And I had an understanding of the world and people, of women. But gee whiz, it all seemed to change for me. And so I expect things will continue to change for me. And I can't say that I haven't had a couple of moments that were rather wistful. But there's only two people in the world, that could even elicit any type of response from me like that. And one of them's not the witch. But again, if I die, I have to let go of everybody and everything that I know, I guess, right? Well, it's as though they killed all that was Tommy, or at least tried to. And so I can't hold on to that which is trying to kill us. I can't love them which are trying to hate me and change me into something else, to make me smaller and less. That's not what you call love. That's something else altogether. So even though there was a lot of people that we really truly cared a great deal about, we had to grieve them and mourn losing them many times for a couple decades now. So we have to move on to better things, better places, better times. And again, the light is with me. I don't have any choices regarding this. It's like, will you stay with the darkness, Tom, and all of your dark biologicals and your grifter demonics, which are called, what do they call them, karmics? No, I can't say I'm going. No, I'm leaving that. Sooner or later, that's what it's all about. The kingdom marriage is, as far as I can tell, it's just nothing more than a different ploy by darkness to thwart God's intentions for a person. So the day's not interested. The day's not interested a bit. So we're just going to be the day, going the way of the day. And you can call us lonely if you want, but I don't ever feel lonely because there's always goodness with us. Heaven has made us just unreceptive to all these hot things, all the those of darkness, the enemy. Completely unreceptive to anything that's of the darkness, anything that's evil. They just repel it all from us. And it's becoming more and more of that, and we're continuing on up, because that's our goal, to be free of the evil, To me, see, there's only one thing that's important, and that's my soul and my relationship to our Father in heaven, how close I am, which my intention is to get real close, because I got a good heart. I think I'd like to go before him and say, hey, I made it back. Thank you for helping. Thanks for not giving up on me. Guys, God love you and God keep you. May he keep your feet on a good path, and you be surrounded with good spirits and be kept in good spirits. I pray that all of those that are on my side and love me sincerely are given an extra good cup of cheer and are lifted by heaven, and any burdens that they're carrying are made lighter, and all at the expense of the enemies. Ha ha ha. Heaven, amen. In the name of the Prince of Peace, our Father who art in heaven, amen.